What's up, guys? Coming to you today with a full slate of MLB action on Tuesday, August 26th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price I think is the best chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure you keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know your thing in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, it wasn't a full slate. There were a good chunk of games, but didn't find a crazy amount of value. We did get off to a very good start to the day, though, with the Marlins at plus 105. That was a nice 2-1 win there for Miami. Cabrera was insane in that game, allowing only a single hit and 0 runs while striking out 10 over 7 innings of work. Strider was actually great for his first time in several starts, but Atlanta couldn't come with enough offense and didn't score that single run until the top of the 9th inning. So a win there to start the day. We backed that up with a nice win on Toronto at minus 137. A comfortable 10-4 win. Scherzer wasn't amazing, but the bullpen was great, and Joe Ryan did not have a good time at all, and neither did that Twins bullpen. Unfortunately, we were way off there on that under in the Pirates-Cardinals game. McGreevy was terrible, the Pirates bullpen was garbage, and we were already dead in this one by the bottom of the 5th inning. So that was pretty disappointing. We also have the Padres at plus 110 as our dog of the day. A crazy game going on out there in Seattle. They're down 9-5 right now, but it's top of the 7th, and anything could happen in that game still. We took the Phillies as our lock of the day, kind of against my better judgment, honestly. I hate the Phillies, if I'm being completely honest. Sanchez got absolutely destroyed. Senga wasn't awesome either there for the Mets. We saw an uncharacteristically good bullpen game there from the Mets, though, and their offense really woke up, so annoying to brick that one on the Phillies. We should have known better to have a team that's so hot and cold like the Phillies as our lock of the day. So that was irritating, but it did feel like a really good spot. Sanchez had been looking great. He didn't look great in this one. So we'll see what we can do to bounce back here on Tuesday. We've got a full slate, so that's nice. And we're going to dive right in. We've got a lot of games to cover, and we're going to be looking at the Boston Red Sox going on the road to take on the Baltimore Orioles. The Red Sox come into this game fresh off a nice 4-3 win there in game 1. So well played. They're 72-60 on the season. They're currently 5 games back still of Toronto, but looking very, very good in that wild card situation. They'll hand the ball in this one to Lucas Giolito, who's 8-2 on the year, a 3.72 ERA. Coming off a kind of mediocre start there at the Yankees. I mean, 4 2/3 innings, 5 hits, and 3 earned runs isn't up to his normal standard. He had been throwing the ball really, really well. We'll see what he can do here against the Orioles. He hasn't faced them since back in late May. He was great in that outing. 7 innings, 6 hits, no runs allowed, and struck out 6. It was eventually a 2-1 loss, but he threw the ball great. May is a little bit long ago, but we're definitely going to keep that in the back of our mind when analyzing this game. The Red Sox bullpen definitely has an edge here on the Orioles, a 3.41 bullpen ERA. Very little to complain about there. The offense only coming up with 4 runs in game 1. Okay, but they've been hitting the ball pretty decently. I mean, 4-2-12, 1-6-3 over their last few. Isn't terrible, isn't amazing. Over the course of the year, this is one of the best offenses in Major League Baseball. The 4th in runs scored, 5th in batting average. You guys get the picture. The Red Sox can hit the ball. So we'll see what they do here in game 2 against the Orioles, who are 60-71 on the season. They've lost 3 of their last 4. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Kyle Brandish. He's 2-0 on this last year, a 2.75 ERA last year. Coming off the IL for this game, going to make his first start of the year. We'll see how it goes. I'm not necessarily expecting miracles out here, but this guy's a veteran. He could come out and throw the ball pretty well, but I don't expect him to go super deep into this game. So we'll see. It's coming back after a 14-month absence is an awful long time to be out. Also, the bullpen behind him isn't very good, so that's another concern. The offense for the Orioles, 3-3-8, 7-2-4 over their last few games. They have hit the ball a little bit better recently, I suppose, than their season averages, but this is still not a team that I'm terrified of against the plate. They're 21st in batting average and 24th in on-base percentage this season. That being said, the slugging percentage numbers have been creeping up, so you have to take them at least kind of seriously. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the Red Sox are minus 115, the Orioles are minus 105, a total of 9 in this one. Boston's 30-34 on the road, 36-27-1 to the over on the road. The Orioles are 30-33 at home, 33-28-2 to the over at home. I'm not interested in the total in this game, but I certainly think it's a good spot to back the Red Sox. Giolito on the mound, I think we'll see him be very good. Something of a return to form after not his best outing his last time on the mound. I also like the Red Sox bullpen way better and their offense way better, and they're not putting a guy who hasn't pitched in 14 months on the mound. So definitely give me the Red Sox on the road in this one. Definitely pinned comment worthy. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Atlanta Braves headed to Miami to take on the Marlins. Slam that thumbs up button, guys, if you enjoyed cashing the Marlins with us there. A little bit of plus money yesterday. The Braves at 59-72, obviously not headed anywhere important, but something very important that's been happening for this franchise is the emergence here of Hurston Waldrep on the big league mound. Kid has been nuts. Very cool to see a 23-year-old go out there, be 4-0, a 0.73 ERA, and just be absolutely dealing through his first 4 starts of the season. He already faced the Marlins once, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run allowed in a 7-1 win. He gave up no runs over 7 innings against the White Sox his last time on the mound. Like, this kid is the real deal. He's absolutely just killing it out there. So I expect that to continue in this matchup. The bullpen for Atlanta isn't great, but neither is the Marlins, so that's a kind of a wash. The offense for the Braves has not been amazing. 1-4-2, 7-1, and 11 over their last few games is not amazing. They're 16th in runs scored. They're 19th in batting average. They're 10th in on-base percentage. So a team that will sit there and see some pitches and get on base occasionally, but not the hottest hitting at the moment. So we'll see what they do against the Marlins. They come into this game winners of 2 in a row, but at 62 and 79 on the year, going to need a lot to go right down the stretch this season if they want to sniff a wild card berth. They'll hand the ball in this one to Sandy Alcantara, who's 7 and 11 on the season, a 6.04 ERA. He's coming off a great start against St. Louis, a great start against Boston, but he faced Atlanta back on the 9th of August and gave up 5 earned runs over 5 innings on 7 hits and gave up a couple of home runs. So not exactly a huge endorsement. That being said, like I just listed, the last 2 days he pitched, he looked very, very good. So we'll see if that continues. Obviously, the bullpen for Miami is not great. Like I mentioned earlier, definitely not a very good bullpen. The offense for the Marlins, 2-5-6, 2-6-4 over their last few games. It's not terrible, and this team's okay at the plate. I mean, 12th in batting average, 19th in runs scored, 17th in slugging percentage. Definitely not elite, but not in the bottom half of the majors. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Braves are minus 120. The Marlins are plus 100. We've got a total of 8 in this game. Atlanta's 25 and 38 on the road, 31, 27, and 5 to the over on the road. The Marlins are 29 and 35 at home, 35 and 29 to the under at home. So honestly, guys, I really want to lean towards the Atlanta Braves in this one. I mean, Waldrop, in his 4 starts, only one of them was on the road, but he was lights out in that one against Cleveland. So I'm not really expecting him to have too much trouble against a Marlins team he was very, very good against. Alcantara has been throwing the ball really well, but didn't throw it that well against Atlanta the last time he faced them. So I'm going to be leaning towards the Braves here quite a bit. I think they probably come away with the win in this one. You could also take the under in this spot if you just think both pitchers are going to continue to throw the ball well. Under 8 feels live to me as well, but the side I'm leaning more towards is probably going to be those Braves. Next on the docket, we've got the Tampa Bay Rays heading to Cleveland to take on the Guardians. The Rays come into this game 64 and 67 on the season, but they've won 3 in a row, including a 9-0 shutout in game 1 of this series. They're going to hand the ball in this one to young Shane Baz. He's 8 and 10 on the year, a 5.22 ERA. After a nice hot start to his season, things have taken a turn for the worst. Over his last 5 starts, it's been pretty bad, giving up 6, 4, 4, and 5 earned runs over that stretch. The Rays are only 1 and 3 over that stretch. Like, it has not looked great down the stretch for this kid. It can just be a little bit difficult. These guys, trying to do a whole major league season is quite the grind. In terms of history against Cleveland this year, he has not faced them, so we'll see how that goes, but not expecting miracles from this young man in this game. The Tampa Bay bullpen is okay to back him up, though. A 3.77 bullpen ERA, definitely not a big problem there. And the offense is red hot, scoring 9, 7, and 10 runs over their last 3 games, respectively. So maybe the Rays poised to go on a little bit of a run here. We'll see. The Guardians, they come into this one 64 and 66 on the season. They got shut out now in their 3rd straight game, so that's pretty brutal stuff. They're going to hand the ball on this one to Parker Messick. He has yet to figure out a result this season. This young 24-year-old lefty sporting a 1.35 ERA after his first start of the year, where he went 6 2/3 innings, gave up 7 hits and a single earned run while striking out 6. It was eventually a 3-2 loss in extra innings there at the Arizona Diamondbacks. So I'm expecting him to go out there and be very good in this outing. I think he's going to throw the ball well. Now he's going up against some pretty hot hitting, so we'll see if that works out. The Guardians bullpen, no joke, guys. They've been one of the best 4 or 5 bullpens in the majors this year. So whenever Messick comes out, not too much to worry about. The offense, though, obviously the coldest bats in the majors right now, shut out in 3 straight games. Pretty brutal. They're down to 28th in runs scored, last in batting average, second to last in both slugging and on-base percentage. So not a lot of positives there. Looking at the numbers for this game, the Rays are plus 100. The Guardians are minus 120. We've got a total of 8 in this game. Tampa Bay is 29 and 34 on the road, 33, 28, and 2 to the under on the road. The Guardians are a 500 team at home, 31, 29, and 2 to the over at home. I actually think this is a decent spot to back the Guardians. I know the Rays been hitting the cover off the ball, but Messick looks really good out there to me. Obviously, Cleveland's got to snap out of this funk at some point, and doing it against Shane Baz, who's been terrible recently, makes a whole lot of sense. Now, this one won't make the pinned comment, but I do think Cleveland's the side you want. Maybe we're trying to catch a falling knife here. predicting when their slump is going to end, but I do think the Guardians are the side for me. Hey guys, hopping here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is stumpthespread.com. Click the link in the description and go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, UFC, NCAA football, and regular season NFL picks. We've got tons of information in there on week 1 NFL. Obviously, we've got, the NCAA football season really getting after it now, coming up in just a couple days. So yeah, tons of great information there in the premium section. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last several years in a row and has had a great 2025 season so far. At stumpthespread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks that are only posted there, our free-to-use bet size calculator, and our premium top confidence picks, which might not and usually will not always match what you see here in the video, as I'm not the premium MLB handicapper over there at Stump the Spread. We've got a whole team of guys covering a plethora of different sports. Tons and tons of work going into those picks every single day. Our MLB guy is a veteran, well over a decade of experience, and we've got guys covering every sport with a wealth of experience using some very sophisticated tools to make their predictions, and just a ton of data points are taken into consideration on every single one of those plays. Looking like a mediocre day out there today on the 25th. A rough start there with the Twins, lost them as a 3/4 of a unit play going for the cheeky underdog play there. The Mariners are looking really good, so that's when he was on the opposite of me, and it looks like he's going to nail that one. They're up 9-5. Cash the under there in that Kansas City Royals Chicago White Sox game, so that was a nice win. And the Royals, he had a lot of faith there in DeGrom. The system really liked DeGrom to have a good outing, and he was okay, but the Rangers just couldn't get the job done in that one. So looking like probably a slightly losing 2-2 day there for the premium members, but only 4 picks in there. We're going to have bigger days, and he did just go undefeated there on the 24th. Let's not forget about that. That was a very, very nice day there on the 24th, cashing 3 picks, and then 1 was a push. So I expect him to get right back after it here on Tuesday. We're getting closer and closer to a very busy weekend of sports. So definitely, get in on that. If you're interested, check out those premium plays over there at Stump the Spread. Also, get on the free email list, guys. It's great information straight to your inbox every single day. At least 1, often 2 free picks in those emails. And yeah, it's just great information. Like tons of stuff on niche sports betting like golf, tennis, NASCAR, WNBA, college football, NFL stuff's going to be in there very, very soon. There's parlays in those emails as well, so it's very easy to get on that list. Just click the link down in the description to go to stumpthespread.com, sign up for a free account. All they need is your name and your email address. That's it, and you'll get 1 email a day straight to your inbox or your spam folder. So check your spam folder, but it's a great resource for any serious sports bettor. So definitely check that out. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from me here every single day, you can sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to every single one of my videos here on YouTube. They get their name up on screen in every single video like you've been seeing right now, but maybe more importantly, you get access to our members only giveaways. We give away a Stump the Spread hoodie every single week here to one of our YouTube channel members. We spin a big wheel and see who ends up being the winner. So far, Trav, who was the winner yesterday, has not claimed his hoodie. So Trav, get there in the comments and let me know if you won. If not, I'm going to pick out a deserving channel member, and they're going to end up, somebody who comments down below that is a channel member is going to end up with that hoodie. So guys, definitely sign up for that if you're interested by clicking the little join button down below. But we got a ton of games to cover here on a full slate on a Tuesday. So we're going to dive back in, and next up, we're going to be looking at the Washington Nationals going on the road to take on the New York Yankees. The Nationals come into this game fresh off a tough 10-5 loss in game 1 of this series. I mean, they're 53-78 on the year, so it's not like they've got a ton left to play for. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Mackenzie Gore. He's 5-12 on the year, a 4.11 ERA. This young lefty has had some good starts this year, don't get me wrong, but he's also had some stinkers. His last time out, 4 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, and it was eventually a 9-3 win for the Nationals, but really it's been a little bit bleak for him this season. Maybe he feels okay going up against the Yankees. We'll see. He did pitch the All-Star game, but things haven't looked quite as good down the stretch, so we'll see. He hasn't faced the Yankees this year, so it could be a new adventure for him. The bullpen for the Nationals has been the worst in the majors this year, so that's a big problem, and the offense not exactly firing on all cylinders. 5-2-4 over their last few games is not great, and over the course of the season, they're kind of around 20th in the majors in most of the significant offensive categories. So we'll see what they do at Yankee Stadium. Obviously, the Yankees at 71-60 on the year need every win they can get. They're 5.5 games back of Boston. They've got to really, make sure they don't end up missing out on that wild card and missing out on the playoffs entirely. They'll hand the ball in this one to Luis Gil. He's 1-1 this year, a 4.26 ERA, coming off a couple very good starts. A good start against the Cardinals and a very respectable start against Boston. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, one of which was earned. He did walk 5 and 3 in those starts respectively, so control continues to be a little bit of a problem for him. I am expecting him to have a good outing here against the Nationals. I do worry about the Yankees bullpen though. It has not been very good down the stretch this year. A 4.36 bullpen ERA, not going to get the job done there in the playoffs. And the offense, well, that's working out. 17 runs over the last couple games, definitely respectable there. Second in the majors in runs scored, 13th in batting average, fourth in on-base percentage, and first in slugging percentage. Yeah, not too worried about that. I think we're going to see very good stuff from the Yankees at the plate. And the odds makers agree with me. The Nationals are plus 155. The Yankees are minus 182. A total of 8.5 in this one. The Nationals are 27 and 37 on the road, 32, 27, and 5 to the over on the road. The Yankees are 37 and 28 at home, 35, 28, and 2 to the under at home. I actually think over 8.5 is very live in this game. I think we're going to see some offense, a good amount of it from the Yankees, obviously, and yeah, probably some from the Nationals, if not against Luis Gil, definitely against that Nationals bullpen. So give me a slight lean towards the over, and I also will take the Yankees in this spot, but not a pinned comment play on really either one of those. I don't trust either one of these teams. Cruising along here, guys. We're looking at the Minnesota Twins going on the road to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. The Twins at 59 and 72 on the year aren't having a great time. They've lost 6 of 7, and they'll hand the ball in this one to Bailey Ober, who's 4 and 7 on the season, a 5.05 bullpen ERA. His last start was pretty decent against the Athletics, but despite the fact he only gave up 2 earned runs over 5 2/3 innings, we see the Twins lose that game 4-2 in extras. Over his last 5 starts, I would say at least 3 of them have been kind of subpar, so we'll see what he can do here against the Blue Jays, a very tough team to have good starts against, and he got knocked around pretty aggressively by them back on June 6th, the last time he faced Toronto. So we'll see how this time goes. Obviously, the Twins' bullpen's been pretty terrible. Their offense isn't anything special either. 4-0-3, 9-3, and 2 over their last few games. They're banged up. They're all the way down to 24th in the majors in runs scored and 20th in on-base percentage. Definitely not an elite offense. So we'll see what they do against the Blue Jays, who have won 3 out of their last 4. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Chris Bassett, who's 11 and 7 this season, a 4.18 ERA. His last start, he was very good against the Pirates. 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs allowed in that game. But yeah, we eventually see the Blue Jays bats not show up and then lose that game 2-1. And over Bassett's last 5 starts, the Blue Jays are only 1 and 4, which was not the norm for them earlier in the season when he was on the mound. Now, in terms of history against the Twins this year, he has not faced them, so we'll see how this time goes, but I'm expecting Bassett to be pretty good. The Toronto bullpen has not been amazing down the stretch, a 4.00 bullpen ERA, kind of middle of the pack, but the offense is obviously elite. 10, 3, 7, 5, 1, and 7 over their last few games. They're 8th in runs scored, 1st in both on-base percentage and batting average. Not a lot of negatives to find right now about Toronto. So looking at the numbers, guys, the Twins are plus 150. The Blue Jays are minus 178. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. The Twins are 26 and 39 on the road, 34, 28, and 3 to the over on the road. Toronto's 42 and 21 at home, 37, 24, and 2 to the over at home. That's actually an MLB best to the over. I don't think I'm interested that much in over 8.5, but I will take the Blue Jays at minus 178. I don't trust Bailey Ober in this spot or the Twins bullpen. I think Toronto's swinging the bats pretty well right now, and I think they're due to get a win with Bassett on the mound. So give me Toronto in this one as at least something of a significant lean. Next up, guys, we got a team that I'm starting to hate more than pretty much any other team in the majors. We've got the Philadelphia Phillies going on the road to take on the New York Mets. The Phillies did not show up yesterday, took the 13-3 loss for us, so that was pretty brutal stuff. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Jesus Luzardo, who's 12 and 6 on the season, a 4.10 ERA, but has been throwing the ball great. His last 5 starts, he's given up a total of 8 earned runs over 5 starts. That's not too bad. The Phillies are 4-1 over that stretch. He struck out 12 the last time he was on the mound, just mowing down the Mariners. We'll see what he does here against the Mets. The last time he faced the Mets, he was great back on June 22nd. 6 2/3 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed, and struck out 7. All that being said, I worry about the kid. He could go out there and have a terrible start, but I do think Luzardo's in a good spot in this one. The bullpen for the Phillies is atrocious, a 4.42 bullpen ERA, definitely not filling me with much optimism there, and the offense hasn't been killing it. I mean, they've been winning games, but 3, 3, 6, 4, 11, and 6 over their last few is not that special. I mean, they're 9th in the majors in runs scored, 2nd in batting average, 5th in on-base percentage, but I just struggle to trust this offense on a day-to-day basis. So we'll see what they do here against the Mets, who have to be feeling great after that 13-3 win, but they're still 6 full games back of the Phillies in the NL East. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Sean Manaea. He's 1 and 2 on the year, a 5.15 ERA, and he has been floundering over his last 4 starts, giving up 5, 4, 4, and 4 earned runs over that span. We see the Mets are 0-5 over his last 5 starts. That's not a great look. He hasn't faced the Phillies yet this year, but I struggle to think he's going to suddenly turn things around in this one. Definitely seems like a pretty big question mark to me. And Mets bullpen, well, it's been much better than the Phillies. It hasn't been much better lately. A 3.93 bullpen ERA. That doesn't really fill me with optimism. The offense putting up 13 runs against the Phillies in Game 1 is cool, but has not been the norm for this team this season. They are currently 11th in the majors in runs scored, 18th in batting average. They are top 10 in both on-base percentage and slugging percentage, so there's positives to this offense for sure, but definitely not the kind of group you can trust on a day-to-day basis. So look at the numbers here, guys. It makes me a little sick. The Phillies are minus 110. The Mets are minus 110. We've got a total of 8.5. The Phillies are a couple games above 500 on the road. They're 40, 22, and 4 to the under on the road, which is actually an MLB best to the under playing away from home. The Mets are 40 and 24 at home, 31, 30, and 3 to the under at home. Feels like we're walking into it here. The odds makers must know something to make this a coin flip, but I like the Phillies at minus 110, and I like them kind of a lot, and it makes me want to hurl. I am going to take the Phillies here at minus 110. I can't promise you that it won't end up in the pin comment because it definitely might. Luzardo's been throwing the ball great recently. Manea's been absolutely terrible, so we have to at least consider this making the pinned comment. Rolling along here, guys, we've got the Arizona Diamondbacks going on the road to take on the Milwaukee Brewers. The Diamondbacks, a pretty rough flight there, arriving at 4 a.m., eventually losing 7-5 there in Game 1 of this series in Milwaukee. They'll try to bounce back in Game 2, handing the ball to Brandon Pfaadt, who is 12-8 on the season, a 4.95 ERA, coming off an excellent start against the Guardians, although they're looking like one of the worst offensive teams in baseball right now, so let's not freak out too much. This kid struggled against the Rockies in back-to-back starts, so we'll see what he does here against the Brewers, obviously one of the best hitting teams in all the major leagues. He hasn't faced him this year, but I'm not expecting him to have a great time. The bullpen behind him has been one of the worst in the majors. Obviously, that Arizona bullpen has been awful, and the offense, it's actually been kind of respectable. I mean, coming off a night of no sleep, they scored 5 runs at the Brewers in Game 1, but over the course of the year, their numbers look great, so I got to give them credit where credit is due. The Brewers come into this game obviously still cruising out there in the NL Central, 5.5 games up on the Cubs. They did have a rough series there against the Giants, losing 2 out of 3. They're going to hand the ball to someone who's having a really rough time recently. Kind of out of nowhere, Jacob Misiorowski has not been quite so good. 4-2 on the year, a 4.19 ERA. His last time on the mound only lasted 4 innings against the Cubs, managed to give up 3 earned runs on only 1 hit. Control has become something of an issue for him since the All-Star break, and just hasn't been having the best time. We'll see what he can do in this one. Obviously, going up against the Diamondbacks shouldn't seem that scary, but they haven't been bad, so we'll see what Misiorowski looks out there. It feels like he's just maybe not fully healthy or something. The bullpen for the Phillies has not been a dominant one this year, but they've gotten better and better over the course of the season, so definitely they deserve some credit for that. The offense putting up 7 runs in Game 1 is fine, but 7, 3, 1, 5, 4, and 3 over their last few games is not the norm for this team. They're 2nd in runs scored this year, 3rd in batting average, and 2nd in on-base percentage, but they're not swinging the hottest bats at this exact moment. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Diamondbacks are plus 135, the Brewers are minus 160. We've got a total of 8 in this one. Arizona's 30 and 35 on the road, 31, 30, and 4 to the under on the road. The Brewers are 43 and 21 at home, 33, 29, and 2 to the under at home. I'm not taking under in this game, guys. I think over 8 is an excellent spot in this game. I think we're going to see plenty of offense. Misiorowski hasn't looked great recently. That Brewers bullpen is not incredibly good. Obviously, Pfaadt always gives up some runs. That Diamondbacks bullpen is pretty bad. Their offense is great. I think we see over 8 runs in this game the vast majority of the time. So this over has a great chance to make the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Kansas City Royals heading to Chicago to take on the White Sox. The Royals actually took the 7-0 loss in Game 1 of this series, so that's not a great look, but they'll see if they can bounce back in this one. They need every win they can get as they try and make the wild card out there in the American League. They'll hand the ball in this one to Michael Lorenzen, who's 5-8 on the year, a 4.50 ERA. Did not have a great time his last time out there. 4 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs. 3 of them were earned there against the Rangers. The Yankees did eventually get the 6-4 win, so that's a positive, but he did not look amazing. He did have a pretty decent start coming off the IL there against the White Sox. 4 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed, and a 6-2 win. Can he do that again? I would say it's not impossible, but I didn't love how he threw the ball his last time on the mound. The Royals bullpen should be decent to back him up. It's been fairly solid all year long. Maybe not elite, but solid. The offense, getting shut out there yesterday is not a great look, but 0, 10, 2, 5, 6, 3, and 5 over their last few games. I mean, they're 27th in the majors in runs scored. They are 23rd in on-base percentage. This is not an elite offense. They can, find some nice games occasionally, but not an offense that I'm always thrilled to back. So we'll see what they do against the White Sox, who've now won 3 in a row. Obviously not headed to the postseason or anything like that, but they're going to hit the ball in this one to Martin Perez, who's 1-3 on the year, a 2.51 ERA, coming off a couple of excellent starts. Shut down the Atlanta Braves, shut down the Detroit Tigers. I guess that Tigers outing wasn't a start, it was just a bullpen appearance. He was okay, but did give up the only run in that game, so that's not a great look, but he's doing the ball pretty well, since making it back up to the big leagues after missing a couple months. We'll see what he looks like in this one. The bullpen for the White Sox, not amazing, not quite as bad as you would think, but a 3.94 bullpen ERA is not great. The offense, swinging some of the hottest bats they've had all year long, 7, 8, and 7, and 7 the game before that as well. So, yeah, 26th in the majors in runs scored and 28th in slugging percentage. Not great over the course of the year, but right now they are hitting the ball pretty well. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Royals are minus 125. The White Sox are plus 105, a total of 8.5 in this game. The Royals are 30-34 on the road, 33-30-1 to the under on the road. The White Sox are 27-37 at home, 34-25-5 to the over at home. I actually think this is a very reasonable spot to back the Royals. I don't love Martin Perez out there at all. Lorenzen has some success in this matchup. This play isn't going to make the pinned comment, but I do think there's reason to back the Royals. I also think you could take the under in this game potentially. Neither one of these teams hits the ball that well, so I think we could see offense be at a premium. We're rolling along here, guys. We've got the Pittsburgh Pirates going on the road to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. The Pirates took the loss in kind of epic fashion there in Game 1, getting walked off on there by Burleson. They're going to hand the ball in Game 2 to Mitch Keller, who's 5-12 on the year, a 4.34 ERA, coming off a couple rough starts, really getting knocked around by both Toronto and Milwaukee. Obviously, those are elite offenses. I don't know if the Cardinals fall into that category. We'll see what he's done against the Cardinals this year. Oh, yeah, he shut them out back on July 2nd. 7 innings, 5 hits, no runs allowed, and struck out 7. So some very positive history there for Keller, who could use a bounce back, no doubt about that. The Pirates bullpen has been all over the place this year, currently on a bit of a downswing. A 4.16 bullpen ERA is not ideal. The offense did come up with 6 runs there yesterday, which isn't terrible, and had been swinging the bats a bit better, but to lose that game eventually sucks. You can definitely blame the bullpen for that. They're last in the majors in runs scored, though, and they are last in the majors in slugging percentage, so most of this team's struggles have to be blamed on their terrible, terrible offense. So we'll see what they do here against the Cardinals, who at 65 and 67 on the year are doing everything they possibly can to, keep it together. Obviously, tempers are flaring. Contreras getting ejected and hitting his own coach with a bat there wasn't a great look. They're not out of the mix completely, but they're kind of out of it. They'll hand the ball in this one to Andre Palante, who's 6-11 on the year, a 5.17 ERA. They're still trying to lean on these young starters, and this kid over his last 3 outings has been horrible. So we'll see if he can bounce back here against the Pirates, a team he did have a great start against back in early July, but we'll see. He's been throwing the ball terrible over his last 3 starts, maybe even his last 4. So we'll see how that goes. The Cardinals bullpen's been very good this year. That's been one of the few bright spots down the stretch. The offense, obviously, putting up 7 runs yesterday is great, but they've been fading aggressively down the stretch, guys. They were, top 4, top 5 in runs scored. Well, now they're 15th. They were top 4, top 5 in batting average. Well, now they're 15th in that as well. So looking at the numbers here, the Pirates are plus 110. The Cardinals are minus 130, a total of 8 in this game. Pittsburgh's 18-44 on the road, 36-23-3 to the under on the road. The Cardinals are 35-30 at home, 33-28-4 to the over at home. I kind of want to back the under, but that burned us yesterday, and I don't see a ton of value there. I do like the Pirates here, a good amount at plus 110. I really don't trust Palante. They obviously should have won yesterday in Game 1, and with how bad Palante's been recently, Keller's been bad as well, but he's got great history against the Cardinals. This is going to be a lean towards the Pirates. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Los Angeles Angels going on the road to take on the Texas Rangers. The Angels at 62-69 on the year did get a 4-0 win in Game 1, so well played there. They're going to hand the ball to Yusei Kikuchi in this one, who's 6-8 on the season, a 3.42 ERA. His last start, he was dominant against the Reds, 7 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run allowed in a 2-1 win. We do see the Angels are 4-1 over his last 4 outings. Not all of those has been his fault, but he has thrown the ball well, but his last time against the Rangers was back on July 29th, and 5 1/3 innings, 10 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned. Even though it was an 8-5 win, it was not Kikuchi's fault. So we'll see what kind of support he gets from the bullpen. Usually it's been bad this year. A 4.76 bullpen ERA from the Angels has comfortably kept him in the bottom 5. The offense has scored 4-3-1, 2-2, and 4 runs over their last few games. None of that gets me too jazzed up about this offense. It's all the way down to 29th in the majors in batting average and 26th in on-base percentage. So Pretty big yikes here as they go on the road to take on the Rangers, who are 66 and 67 on the year. DeGrom didn't look great there yesterday. That's a concern. They'll hand the ball in this one to Patrick Corbin, who had 6 and 9 on the year with a 4.61 ERA. He hasn't been incredible here down the stretch either. Over his last 4 starts, it's actually been pretty terrible. We did see the Rangers get that win against the Yankees there back on the 4th, but I mean, I don't have a lot of good stuff to say about Patrick Corbin right now. We'll see what he does against the Angels. The last time he faced them back on July 29th, he was decent, but definitely not elite. Obviously, the Rangers' bullpen's been excellent this season, a 3.60 bullpen ERA. That's not the problem. Their offense can occasionally be the problem, like we saw them get shut out there yesterday, but they've been hitting the ball a little bit better. 0, 5, 10, 4, 4, and 6 over their last few is honestly pretty decent work at the plate for a team that's 23rd in runs scored and 25th in batting average, but they're a little bit banged up, so yeah, not super high on the Rangers at the moment. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Angels are plus 100, the Rangers are minus 115. Got a total of 8.5 out there. The Angels are 27 and 34 on the road, 33, 26, and 2 to the over on the road. The Rangers are 39 and 26 at home, 41, 23, and 1 to the under at home. A huge under team at home, but I don't know if I can back the under with these two guys on the mound. Looking at the side, I will take the Angels at plus 100 slightly because I don't trust Corbin and Kikuchi. I would rather lean towards, but I don't love this game at all. This is another one where I'm showing very little edge. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Colorado Rockies going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. The Rockies have been having a hard time once again, losing 4 in a row. Over their last 3 games, they've scored a combined total of 1 run. They're historically bad. Nothing to hide there. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Tanner Gordon. This young 27-year-old is 4 and 5 on the season, a 7.11 ERA. He is coming off an excellent start against the Dodgers, where we saw the Rockies actually get the win, and you can make a case that the last 2 times he's been on the mound, he's thrown the ball a bit better. So we'll see what he can do here going against the Astros, not the hardest hitting team out there. The bullpen for the Rockies is horrible, second worst in the majors, and that's where they deserve to be. They are terrible. The offense has also looked awful. I mean, 0, 1, and 0 over their last few games, and over the course of the year, they're the second lowest scoring team in the majors, the worst on base percentage team in the majors. You kind of get the direction this is going, guys. The Rockies, bad at baseball. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Astros, who just won 3 out of 4 against the Orioles. They'll hand the ball in this one to Hunter Brown, and they could use all these wins they could get because they're only a game and a half up on the Mariners. Hunter Brown coming into this game, 10 and 5 on the season, a 2.36 ERA. This young 26-year-old just went, a very good 6 innings there against the Tigers. 6 innings, 5 hits, no runs allowed, and struck out 6. But we saw the Astros lose that game 1-0 as part of their little we're not going to score any runs streak. Over his last 5 outings, he hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any of those games. Despite all that success, the Astros are only 2 and 3 over his last 5 starts. So we'll see what he does against the Rockies. Obviously, he'd rather pitch at home against Colorado. The last time he faced the Rockies, it was in Colorado, and he gave up 2 runs on 6 innings pitched. Also struck out, 8 in that outing? So yeah, I'm expecting Hunter Brown to be lights out in this one. The Astros bullpen's been pretty good this year, although they have had some bumps in the road recently. The offense, 2, 8, 10, 7, 2, 0, 0, and 0 over their last few games. They're not great at the plate. They're very inconsistent. They are 4th in batting average, but 20th in runs scored and 15th in slugging percentage. So looking at the numbers, guys, it's kind of what you would expect. The Rockies are plus 270. The Astros are minus 330. We've got a total of 8 in this game. The Rockies are 16 and 49 on the road, 38, 26, and 1 to the under on the road. Houston's 38 and 27 at home, 34, 29, and 2 to the under at home. I do think under 8 is actually not unreasonable in this game. I don't love too much about the side here, or regardless, I would maybe even think about taking the Rockies here at near 3-1, but obviously that's not something I'm enthused about. My favorite lean on this game, and I like it quite a bit, is the no-run first inning. I've loved what I've seen from Tanner Gordon here recently. Obviously, the Astros offense is terrible. Hunter Brown's a monster. I think that's all going to amount to no runs being scored in the first inning of this game. Next up, guys, we're looking at the San Diego Padres going on the road to take on the Seattle Mariners. Now, these two teams are actually still technically playing, with the Padres down 5-9 there in the top of the 9th. So looks like we're going to be wrong on that one, and the premium handicapper is going to be right. He liked the Mariners in that one enough to put it in the premium section, and looks like they're coming up with the win. Now, in Game 2, the Padres hand the ball to Dylan Cease, who's 6 and 11 on the season, a 4.71 ERA. Things were looking up there for a couple starts, but seems like they're sliding back down. A bad start against the Dodgers, and then a pretty mediocre start against the Giants his last time out. The offense did pick him up, and they did get the win in that game, and somehow over his last 5 starts, the Padres are 4-1, but that has not all been Dylan Cease's fault. The bullpen, right there to support him at all times, a 2.96 bullpen ERA. Pretty elite stuff there. It's been the best bullpen in the majors this season by a landslide. The offense, 5 runs in their current game isn't bad. 2 the game before wasn't great. They did hit the ball well against the Dodgers in general, so we'll see what they can do out there in this one. They're 22nd in runs scored, but top 10 in both batting average and on base percentage, so always a team that's a threat to put up some runs. Now, the Mariners come into this game looking to be only a game and a half back of the Astros. They'll hand the ball in this one to Luis Castillo. He is 8-7 on the year, a 3.57 ERA. His last start gave up 10 hits and 3 earned runs over only 4 innings of work against the Phillies in a game we eventually saw the Mariners lose 11-2. His last couple of times on the mound really have not impressed me too much. So going up against the Padres here could be a little bit of a tall task for him. He hasn't faced San Diego this season, though, so we'll see how that goes. The Mariners' bullpen's been decent, but not elite. Basically holding pretty steady, around the top 10 in the majors in bullpen ERA this year. The offense has been kind of all over the place. Obviously, Cal Raleigh just going on another heater. Crazy record books stuff with his 50th home run this season. Bonkers. You love to see a catcher going nuts at the plate, but other than that, the offense, I mean, they did have a crazy game against the Athletics where they scored 11, and they did put up 9 in their current game, so you could say they're swinging some pretty hot bats right now. Looking at the numbers for this game, the odds makers don't see this one as a high score. The Padres are plus 100, the Mariners are minus 120. We've got a total of 7.5 out there. The Padres 31-35 on the road, 37-27-2 to the under on the road. The Mariners are 38-26 at home, 31-29-4 to the over at home. This is honestly, I think it's a spot to back the over. Feels weird, but I think over 7.5 very live in this game. I haven't liked what I've seen from either one of these guys on the mound here recently. Obviously, both bullpens are great, so feels a little bit scary to take the over, but you only got to get to 8 runs, and that's not impossible. In terms of a side, I will lean towards the Padres at plus 100 because Castillo has not been great recently, but I don't know if I can put any of that in the pinned comment. Rolling right along here, guys, we've got the Chicago Cubs going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. The Cubs come into this game winners of 6 out of their last 7. They just swept the Angels. There were some close games in there, though. They'll hand the ball in this one to Matthew Boyd, who's 12-6 on the year, a 2.61 ERA. His last start was against the Brewers, and it wasn't great. 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, but the Cubs did win 6-4, so I guess we got to give him some credit there. We'll see what he does here on the road, going up against the Giants, a team that he hasn't faced since early May, and he was pretty good in that start and got lots of run support, so that always helps. The bullpen for the Cubs, they've been good this year, maybe not as dominant down the stretch, but they've been good. 3.79 bullpen ERA, not going to complain too much about that. The offense, I mean, they did have one crazy game where they put up 12, but 4-12-3, 1-4-4-6 over their last few. Not putting up the kind of dominant numbers we were seeing earlier in the year. They're 5th in runs scored this season, 5th in slugging percentage, but around MLB average in batting average and just slightly above MLB average in on-base percentage. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Giants. They come into this game winners of 2 out of 3 against the Brewers at 63-68 on the year, though. A ton of work to do if they want to make the wild card. They'll hand the ball in this one to Justin Verlander, who's had some terrible luck here in his season. This season, at 42 years old, he's 1-10, a 4.64 ERA. He did get shelled by the Padres his last time out, but has had some really good starts and gotten no run support from a terrible offense. So we'll see what he can do in this one, see if he's got a bounce back in him going against the Cubs. I mean, he faced the Cubs once this year and was pretty good over 5 innings, but I have a hard time backing Verlander. The guy just gets no run support. So the bullpen for the Giants, though, obviously elite. The second best bullpen in the majors this year, no question about that. The offense been coming around a little bit the last couple days. I mean, 4-7, 4-4 over their last few is solid work for a team that's only 25th in runs scored and 28th in batting average. So looking at the numbers for this one, guys, the Cubs are minus 135. The Giants are plus 115. Got a total of 7.5 in this one. The Cubs 35-30 on the road, 31-30-4 to the over on the road. The Giants are 30-33 at home, 37-24-2 to the under at home. I want to be on the Giants here, but I just can't make it happen, guys. Give me the Cubs at minus 135. I don't think Verlander gets enough run support to make that dream a reality in this one. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we've got the Detroit Tigers going on the road to take on the Sacramento Athletics. The Tigers look like they are about to take the loss in this one. They're down 6-3 in the bottom of the 8th in game 1 of this series up there in Sacramento, so we'll see if they can figure something out in the last little bit, but it's not looking great. They'll hand the ball in game 2 to Charlie Morton, who's 9-10 on the year, a 5.09 ERA. Since coming over to the Tigers, though, he's been a little bit revitalized. He did have that terrible start against the Angels where he gave up 6 earned runs, but other than that has been pretty lights out. The Tigers are 2-2 over his 4 starts and can't be too upset about how he's thrown the ball. In terms of history against the Athletics this year, he did get shelled by them back in June, so we'll see how this one goes. The Tigers' bullpen has not been great this season, letting them down in their current game for sure. The offense has not been on fire either, only 3 runs so far in their current game. They are 7th in runs scored this year, but haven't looked that dangerous in the back half of the season. So we'll see what they do here against the Athletics, who are currently 60 and 72 on the year. They're going to give the ball in this one to Osvaldo Bido, who's 2-4 this year, a 5.37 ERA. His last time on the mound was a bullpen performance, and he's generally been in the bullpen this year, and he's looked good out there. Maybe not elite, but recently he's been pretty good, and we've seen him get starts in past seasons. So we'll see what he does in this one. I'm expecting him to be okay against the Tigers. Now, the bullpen for the Athletics is awful. 3rd worst bullpen in the majors, and they've been down there pretty much all year long. The offense, though, can really surprise some teams. They're 13th in runs scored, but 7th in batting average, 4th in slugging percentage, and putting up a big number there today, scoring 8 runs, currently up 8-3 in the bottom of the 8th. So looking at the numbers for this one, the Tigers are minus 142, the Athletics are plus 120, a total of 11 in this game. Detroit is 34 and 29 on the road, 35-27-1 to the over on the road. The Athletics are 26 and 37 at home, 31-28-4 to the over at home. I actually think under 11 isn't the worst idea in this game. I think Bito's going to go out there and be pretty good and give the Athletics a chance here. So give me the Sacramento or Oakland or whatever you want to say. Give me the Athletics at plus 120 in this game as a small lean. Last but not least here, guys, we're looking at the Cincinnati Reds going on the road to take on the LA Dodgers. The Reds not having a great time here in Game 1. They're down 6-0 in the bottom of the 8th, so probably going to take the loss here in Game 1. They need these wins, though, if they're going to make the wild card out there in the National League. They'll hand the ball in this one to Nick Martinez, who is 10-9 this season, a 4.59 ERA. He's been a workhorse. His last time on the mound, he was great against the Angels, but got no run support, and we saw the Reds lose that game 2-1. His last start against the Dodgers was back on July 30th, and he was great. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs in a game the Reds won 5-2. So liking this spot a good amount for Nick Martinez. The Reds bullpen, it hasn't been super reliable, but not terrible. It's not an awful bullpen. Definitely not as bad as the Dodgers. Now, the offense, obviously getting shut out in their current game, is a bad look. They've been a little bit inconsistent, but can put up some runs. They're 11th in the majors in runs scored and 16th in batting average. So I'm expecting them to find a way to put up some runs in this game. We'll see, though. They're going up against the Dodgers. Obviously, they need the win, whatever wins they can find, atop the NL West, tied up with the Padres. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Clayton Kershaw. He's 8-2 on the season, a 3.13 ERA, coming off a middling start there against the Rockies. 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs isn't necessarily amazing. We'll see what he can do here against the Reds. He hasn't faced them this year. I'm not expecting him to have too much trouble, but I'm also not expecting him to go deeper than 6 innings at the absolute maximum into this game. And that leaves a lot of pressure there on that Dodgers bullpen, which is terrible. A 4.17 bullpen ERA does not fill me with confidence. The offense obviously put up 6 runs in their current game, but has already shown they can struggle offensively against the Reds and especially against Nick Martinez. So we'll see. We'll see what they can do. They are 1st in the majors in runs scored and 6th in batting average. So obviously an elite offense, but looking at the numbers for this game, I'm not so sure about this. The Reds are plus 150. The Dodgers are minus 182. We've got a total of 9 in this game. The Reds, not a terrible team on the road, right around 500. They're 35-29-1 to the under on the road. The Dodgers are 41-24 at home. They are a slight over team at home. I'm going to be leaning towards the Reds at plus 150 in this one, with potential to be the dog of the day because I just like this positive history here from Nick Martinez. I also love this price for the Reds. They're coming off of a loss, which is also a pretty good look. And while Kershaw's been good, he's had some hiccups this season, and the Dodgers bullpen's terrible, so the Reds will be alive in this game late for sure. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're clicking the link down there in the description to check out StumpTheSpread.com. Check out all the great premium content we're offering over there right now on MLB, and both football seasons are about to get underway for real. So premium week 1 picks already posted over there on Stump the Spread. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you're clicking that link to get over there to StumpTheSpread.com, and we will see you guys tomorrow right back here, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.